welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And yes, the hair is slightly different. I cleaned it up by quite a bit, and now it's looking and giving what the girl said needs to be giving. So yeah. Anyway, that's not why we're here. This is Get Fit With Me series, yoga edition, and we are back at it with this challenge, which we never left this challenge because we are at day 22. 22. But full transparency, I will be completely honest. I have been using days where I've combined the 2 days to make sure I'm still consistent and getting the challenge. So I have not been the best at getting it done every day, but I've done every challenge though. So there's that part. So let me give you a review of the ones that has been done and have been done that I haven't filmed. Because like I said, I'm not filming every single one of them because I'm holding you to getting the challenge done. And you could do it just like how I've done it, where I've combined it and done 2 of them in one day. That way you're still consistent, you're still getting it done. And hey, if you don't get done by the month, all done by the month of June, that's okay too. I know we all have busy lives, including myself. And so hopefully me being transparent and telling you, hey, I haven't been able to get them all done every single day, you understand. Also, I think the difference is too, is I am adding other yoga routines into this challenge because I wasn't planning for this challenge to be a thing, but neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So let me give you kind of the reviews of the other ones so far. So the ones that we have done and that we've gotten to, because I still actually need to do a couple more here. So we did day 18, which was balance, and that was half moon pose. That one I'm going to give that an 8.5. It was good. Half moon poses, just for me, are just not my favorite out of the balancing poses. So I'm a little bit have a bias with that. And also too, not her problem, kind of more my problem. I actually have like a sore on my knee, left knee to be exact. So it does make it a little bit complicated and difficult to get some of that done as far as poses are concerned. And that one had a lot of crescent moon lunges. And crescent moon lunges on the one side is just not my favorite. So that one was 8.5. The other one, energy, throat chakra, that was a 10. That was a solid 10. It was a great practice. It started differently, and honestly, I don't know what it was about it. I just needed that, just in general. Also, I just love throat chakra practices as a whole, just because it's something that I try to practice. I mean, that's why I even have this channel. Like, you know, you're basically trying to practice and instill having a voice, being heard. Like, those things are very important to me just as an individual. So this throat chakra practice, solid 10 out of 10. I enjoy the poses. It was giving everything it needs to be gave. So then after that, the ability, core strength. That was challenging, but it was worth it. So I would give that one a 9. That one was good. It was definitely challenging. And I think I've mentioned in the beginning when we first started this challenge, and even she's mentioned it in her challenges with this challenge, she does try to make the difficulty more and more as you progress. And I'm definitely am feeling it and I'm seeing it, and it's been great. And then now we are up to speed and we're at today. I know I'm doing a lot of talking at the beginning of this, but hey, I didn't film for a couple of days and I'm just now getting back to a little bit of some normalness. And so, but anyway, today we're back at balance, and we're going to do handstand pose. So yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to do that. I don't really have anything else to say because I've already been talking a lot. So without further ado, let's get to it. So we are starting today's practice in a comfortable seated position, getting warmed up for our movement. And also we will be included in this seated pose and getting us started. We are going to do a gentle twist on each side and also stretch our neck, and a lot of circles are with our neck because we do need to get our neck and our shoulders warmed up for headstand like poses. Once we get done doing some brief warm up in the seated position, we are going to make our way to tabletop position, and there we're going to move our move back and forth to kind of stretch our wrists, and we will go from there. From moving back and forth, we are going to do a cat and cow pose, but we're going to do a variation where we're going to be on our forearms doing a cat and cow. Basically, again, getting our shoulders warmed up and ready for what all we have going on today. From doing our variation of the cat and cow, we are going to then on each side have one leg out and then kind of then extend our other leg to the other side to stretch our shoulders. We're going to be doing the stretch on both sides. I do not remember what the name of the pose actually is called, but let me tell you firsthand that it felt really, really good to do the stretch. And hopefully she incorporates this in other practices in the future. From this pose of lying down on our belly and doing that stretch on our shoulders both sides, we then going to make our way to our first extended child's pose of the practice today. From the extended child's pose, we're going to make our way also to our first downward facing dog of the practice. And with the downward facing dog, we're going to be playing around with it a little bit, pedaling the dog, kind of working with our feet. And then from there, we're going to make our way to the front of the mat, either by stepping one foot or at a time or jumping or any variation of that to standing forward bend. And then from the standing forward bend, we will make our way to our first mountain pose of the practice for today. From the standing forward bend, from the mountain pose, we are going to then kind of do another standing forward bend, but then we're also going to eventually make our way to a plank. And from the plank, we'll do our first vinyasa, where you can either extend all the way down to the bottom or do a halfway. And then you can either do a cobra or upward facing dog, back into a downward facing dog. From the downward facing dog, we are going to make our way to a child pose, but it's not going to be the extended child's pose. It's going to be with our legs together. And then from there, we're going to then start practicing getting ourselves prepped up where we put our head on the mat and getting us prepared for variations of headstands. Once we do that, we then will make our way to a dolphin pose. And you can either extend the dolphin or just keep it kind of how I started off there. And then from there, if you want to go further into it, you can then put get your knees up. I did not do that, but you have the option to do that. And that is really not much of a headstand as far as we're not going advanced with it, but it's definitely beginner/intermediate what we're doing here now. I should add in between this, we also did have Sphinx pose here. And then we do that child's pose more than once. So we do that child's pose actually to get out of the dolphin pose because according, and I didn't know this, but it's not good to just get back up after doing a headstand. So you're gradually just, getting your bearings right and getting it together. And then from gradually getting out of the child's pose with your head being on the mat, we then will make our way to a seated position. And then we're going to do kind of some reverse movements with this, which will include putting our knees in our chest to give ourselves a big hug, and then also shoulder stance. And then if you are feeling a little goaly, you could also add in plow pose, which I made the attempt of doing. I'm not sure how it translated, but I did definitely do that. And let me tell you what, that felt amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And then from there, we pretty much are winding down the practice where we give ourselves one big squeeze one more time into Shavasana, aka corpse pose. And that pretty much will conclude the practice. So it is a practice that goes by so quickly, and I love it. So that concludes the video for today. How I rate it, I'm gonna rate that a 10. That was a 10. It was everything I needed and more. And honestly, I am filming my review a little bit after, probably half an hour after I completed the routine, because I actually had to go directly back to work for a meeting. And what I will tell you, that it had me energized and I had things boosted up. And I literally feel like a nice sky, a nice beautiful sky after a nice solid rain. You know how like sometimes rain just needs to happen and things feel so much better? That's literally how my body feels with doing the inverted poses, with the shoulder stands, and then also doing the dolphin. I did not go as in depth for doing a headstand because I think I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, I tweaked my upper back a little bit. So I'm trying to, pay attention, listen to the body and whatnot, and not do too much. But what I did was just enough, and it gave what needed to be gave. But anyway, that pretty much concludes the video. And I would, again, recommend this one if you were looking for something slightly different, slightly outside the norm. And I also appreciate, other side note why is also a 10. I like that this was a bouncing pose. This was on the bouncing side of things. And it didn't really feel that way. I'm so used to a lot of the bouncing poses being tied to like tree, and then you're this thing and a lot of warrior threes and whatnot. And the fact that I'm even rating it this high and there's no warrior poses, that tells you a lot. And also it wasn't too difficult. It didn't feel difficult. I love that there was also a lot of ground movement, something I appreciate a lot. I sometimes just like that kind of thing. But anyway, that does conclude the video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.